All right, guys, thanks for joining us here at Dragon's Barbecue. So we are going to go ahead and prep a 20-pound brisket here. I'm going to save this fat here off to the side. We're going to do some tallow while that's cooking also. So, okay. So anything hard. So you can see that finger indentation. That's just all that hard stuff. Just take off. And there's going to be quite a bit of it, but you're going to think you're taking a lot off of there, but it's really not that bad. So we're just going to start skimming some of this off. This is just for home. This isn't for competition or anything. This silver skin stuff we're going to take off because we want flavor to go in there. So we are going to take all the silver skin on top so that way the rub penetrates it and gets a little bit more flavor in there. That's what we want, is that flavor. So get your hand underneath of it. See, some butcher got a little happy with their knife right there. So we'll start up here. So, and like I said, I'm just kind of going along here. I know I got a little bit of meat in there, but it's just for the masses. We're just trying to trim this up quick, easy, and be done. So we will make another video here shortly. Like I said, I got another competition here shortly, so we'll probably make a video during then and kind of show you guys what we do in competition rather than just cooking at the house. So this here I'm actually going to cook for just to sell it. So I bag it up, sell it at farmers markets, put it in 1 pound bags. This whole side over here we're going to cut off. That's where, correct me if I'm wrong, but that side that looks like it's kind of browned a little bit, I've heard they use some kind of steam knife in the butcher shop. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, we're all here to learn, so I don't judge people on their barbecues. So we're just all here to learn. If you can get something out of this, then I did my job. I don't care. I'm probably doing something wrong right now that somebody's just there. Oh my God, why is he doing that? Well, you know what? This is the way I do it. I don't criticize you. I might, actually. It's pretty easy to do, but I don't care the way you cook. If you cook good food, that's all that matters. So we're going to keep gnawing away at this here, the fat and everything. We'll flip it over here and get to the mohawk. That's kind of an important part. Just gonna take some of this more off here. See this big old chunk of fat on the end here. We're just gonna take that right off. And like I said, we'll put this in a separate pan, make some tallow, and that'll go in our wrap. So it's kind of ugly. I need a new knife. That's what I need. Anybody knows a good fillet knife? I think this is a Rapala, actually. Let me know. All right, we're gonna flip this over here. Get to the mohawk. Actually, they cut that right off of there. Usually there's a piece right here. Yeah, they cut that right off of there. I'm actually kind of surprised. So, see, this is that hard. You can, how your finger kind of makes that indentation. Get all that hard stuff off. Like I said, we're going to throw it in a pan, render it down, and it's going to go right back in the brisket. So we're just going to cut down that whole side here. I'll leave a little bit of fat on there. Just a little bit. All the way down. Perfect. Okay. Take a little bit more off of here. That slimy fat right on top, I don't necessarily like. I am going to put this fat down. So it's not going to be horrible. A lot of that's going to render off, drip down right into the fire. And just give a little extra flavor. I will be wary when I cut this up though on what goes in the bag and everything. So I'm not giving people a mouthful of fat. Nobody wants that. So, man, they did cut this a little weird. That's okay. So this part here, I'm trying to turn this around. On the fat side, underneath. So I don't have much of a point here. So the fat side, that's where your point is. And this is your flat side. This is called the brisket flat right here. The one without all the fat on it. So in between those, on the fat side, if you come in and just right where those two meet, I'm gonna say do like a half moon almost. And I like to do this when I cook it, I guess. There's a big chunk of fat right here. We're not gonna dry it out by cutting this out. I just don't like cooking it with it in there. One giant chunk of fat. See, it's just all fat. I like to cut that out before I start cooking. Because to me, that's more square inches for more rub. So, more rub, more flavor. It's that simple. Yeah, I'll probably leave most of that there. We'll flip this back over here. See what else we got. Oh, we got this little guy right here. A lot of times you can stick your thumb in there and kind of pry on it and get it out of there. But apparently not this time. Just gonna trim that off of there. There we go. That looks gooder. Yes, I say that on purpose, okay? All right, trim some more of that silver skin off. Okay. Well, we set this off to the side here. And get ready to season this baby up. We've already got the smoker warming up, so we'll be right back. All right, guys, we are ready for some seasoning. Looks good. A little bit more fat than I would want, but I think we're just going to leave it there and see what happens. So, first seasoning is we are going to use the base, a Magic Dragon. Oh man, if you haven't had that, whew, I will try and put in a link if I remember. I get it from Rubidoo. That is a barbecue store in Lincoln. So, just a little layer. I personally believe that minimum three rubs at minimum. So you go in soft on your first one, a little medium on your second one, and then your third one will fill all that space in. So our second one actually is going to be the cattle drive. This is from Damon up there at Croy Valley, up there in Wisconsin. He makes some good stuff. You want some good competition rubs, he makes some good stuff. I'll try and put in a link to his stuff also. So we're going to sprinkle this with some Cattlemen. Yeah, it smells so good. That Cattleman has a good smell to it. So the flap here that we cut open, look at all that square inches. We got more room for more rub. Telling you, more rub, more flavor. Quit skimping out on the rub. All right, press that in good. My third one I like to use that I've always liked is the Cosmos, of course, the cow rub. So I will sprinkle some of that on. And now you can tell that, I mean, just layering it, how much we got filled in now, just from layering it. Now the whole thing is covered. We're going to get a nice bark on this one. Good flavor. All right, flip that over here. Beautiful. All right, same thing. We're going to go in with the Magic Dragon. Just a light coat. Some of you are probably like, oh my God, that's a lot. Yeah, it's really not. By the time it's on the smoker, gets out, it's a lot of rub that gets cooked out that you don't realize. Another medium coat. We'll go with Damon's rub here. Press that in. Get the sides. Sides. And then the last one, we're going to do the cow cover from Cosmos. And that'll be a good bark. Now, the smoker is warming up. We're going to let this sit here for about 20 minutes or so. Let that rub start to soak in a little bit before we throw it on. We're going to put this fat down. And just like the pork butt, we are going to let it go for 4 hours. We're not even going to look at it because those barrels hold in so much moisture. Not going to spray. Nothing. We're just going to let it go. Those barrels work pretty good on moisture. So 4 hours, about 300. I'm going to try and keep the barrels about 300 or so. I want that bark to sit in a little bit. So 4 hours at 300 and come back and show you what we got. All right, guys, we are going to take a look at this brisket here. It's been about 4 hours. Oh, yeah. About 155. So we're gonna let that go just a hair longer, and probably another half an hour, and we'll check in with it. All right, guys, it has been 4.5 hours. We're at 165, 170 internal temp on this brisket. Cooked at it was about 275 pretty much the whole time. 275, about 300. It's a windy day, so we had a little trouble there, but It's okay. So we are wrapping. As you can tell, this was the bottom side on the grates here. I flip it upside down when I go to wrap it. That gives more flavor to that flat that's on the other side. So I'm gonna put 3/4 of a stick of butter in here. And then we're gonna add brown sugar. And then we are going to add some honey. Basically the same route as my pork butt. And like I said, this is not competition. We're just cooking for here, for the masses. So we're gonna keep this a little bit sweeter. That rub will pop out still. So this is not overtaking any of the rub or anything. That rub's already in the meat. So, and then we're gonna get some apple juice. And get at least a ½ inch or so on the bottom there. Yeah, looks good. And then I told you, this gosh darn magic dragon right here. Tell you what, you need to get some of that from Aruba and Lincoln. Man, that's good stuff. All purpose, goes about on anything. We're gonna put a little bit of that on and a little bit of Croy Valley beef rub on there. The cattle rub for a little extra. Get some of that more flavor in there. And we're just gonna wrap this up and throw it back on the smoker. We're gonna check it about 2.5 hours in, see where we're at. We're gonna take it up to roughly about 203, 205. Depends on the brisket. I've had them done at 195 and I've had them done at 208. You're just gonna have to make a judgment call on a good slice, because it almost seems every brisket is different and it differs from 10 degrees here and there. So we will be back in about 2.5 hours. Well, for you, about a split second, and we'll get this going. Thanks. All right, guys, let's see how we did on this brisket. Took about another 3 hours, 3.5. So total time, I mean, we're roughly about 8 hours, somewhere in there. And then I let it rest for about 2 hours here on the table. I wrapped it with aluminum foil over this full pan, and yeah, we're ready to see how this is here. So may not be good, I don't know. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think she's pretty good. Let's see here. Let's take her out. Oh, where's my brisket knife? Oh no, I wasn't prepared. Oh no! Got shit falling everywhere. It's fine. I got it. Alright, we took her up to about 203, 204. Some of this went up to 207. Of course, on the flat and everything. So let's see how this did here. Just like that. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that flat. Look how juicy it is. All right, guys. Stay tuned, like the video, and subscribe, because I'm going to be making some competition videos here shortly. You're gonna love this. Thanks, guys.